Baking homemade bread doesn't need to be difficult. With Breville's custom loaf, you can bring a world of flavours beyond the bakery and add anything you want without all the preservatives. It's as simple as adding your ingredients, selecting your loaf size and browning preference, and the custom loaf does the rest. The intuitive LCD screen lets you scroll through 13 settings with light, medium or dark colour crust options, and it bakes up to 2.5 pound family-sized loaf. The instruction booklet is a great place to choose from one of 44 step-by-step recipes, or you can customise a family favourite. We're going to make sun-dried tomato and feta bread, which will use the default crusty loaf setting that can be also modified if needed. You'll see that there are two paddles. The dark collapsible paddle, that's for the bread, and that will collapse and leave less of a hole in the base of the loaf, and then the fixed paddle, and that's just for jam. To begin, always take the bread pan out and add all the ingredients while it's out on the counter, and make sure the collapsible paddle is in the upright position. The most important thing to bear in mind when making bread is to use exact measurements. To start, get all your ingredients out and ready on the counter in the order that it's listed in the recipe. And this always goes liquids, fats, dry ingredients, and finally yeast. And everything should be at room temperature, since this can actually affect the yeast's activation and the way that the bread ultimately rises and bakes. For liquids, only use liquid measuring jugs or cups and check the level while it's on the counter to make sure that the amount is exact. So here we have 1.5 cups of water and 1 extra tablespoon. Consider using filtered or bottled water because the additives in tap water can actually affect the way the yeast rises. 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and for the dry ingredients we have 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of vital wheat gluten, which actually improves the loaf height, texture and structure, 1.25 teaspoons of dried basil, 1.25 teaspoons of oregano, and precisely 4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of bread flour. This flour has more protein than all-purpose flour, making for stronger gluten and lighter, fluffier loaves. With all dry ingredients, either pour the bread flour into a cup or add it with a spoon and then level it off with the back of a knife to make sure that the measurement is exact. But don't tap the cup, since this will cause the flour to settle, and never use the cup to scoop directly from the flour packet, as this will compact it and you'll end up with extra, and that will affect the doughy consistency. Lastly, we have 1 3/4 teaspoons of fresh active dry yeast. Active dry yeast works the best, but make sure it doesn't come into contact with wet ingredients, and this will ensure the dough mixes and rises properly. And be careful with the quantity. Too little yeast and the bread won't rise. Too much, it will rise but then quickly collapse. And now add the ingredients to the pan. Got some liquid, and then the fat, and then the dry, salt, vital wheat gluten, basil, oregano, then the flour, and then the yeast. Be sure to wipe any spilled ingredients from the rim of the pan so it doesn't drop into the baking chamber. And now the bread pan's ready to go in. Just align the wing nut with the drive mechanism inside the baking chamber. Just lower it in. It may take a little bit of jostling, but it definitely clicks into place, and then lower the lid. And this recipe calls for sun-dried tomatoes and feta, which goes straight into the automatic fruit and nut dispenser. You can really jazz up any white loaf with dried fruit, nuts, chocolate chips, and seeds even, as they drop down at exactly the right time, and you don't have to stand by to monitor the progress. Any soggy food, such as these sun-dried tomatoes or feta, should be well drained and patted down dry on paper towel. If you have the dried packet version of sun-dried tomatoes, they'll work too. Now shut the lid of the dispenser and set the dial to crusty loaf, which will give you a crisp crust on the outside but chewy on the inside. There are no colour crust options, but by using the modify button, you could tailor the baking temperature or time for a harder or softer crust. And I'm going to change it to 2 pounds and then press select. And now press start. You can press the light to see inside the baking chamber as the dough cycles through. There's preheat, need 1, need 2, where you'll see the dough ball being tossed around by the paddle, and monitor the consistency of the dough because factors like humidity or flour measurement can affect it. 8 minutes before the end of the need 2 cycle, the automatic fruit and nut dispenser will release the sun-dried tomato and feta, and then the loaf will go into rise 1 and 2 with punch down modes, then into rise 3, and finally the Breadmaker goes into the bake mode, where you'll see the steam rise from the vents, which is completely normal. When the loaf's baked, take it out and let it cool on a drying rack for 20 minutes before slicing. If you try to slice too early, that can affect the structure of the bread. And with the 13-hour delay timer, you can wake to the wonderful aroma of fresh baked bread. The custom loaf, brought to you by the food thinkers at Breville.
A fully automatic appliance geared towards making anyone an expert home baker. The Breadmaker features 14 pre-programmed course settings that alter the kneading, rising, and baking functions based on the type of bread to be made, ranging from classic white and European breads to health-conscious options like whole wheat, rapid whole wheat, multigrain, gluten-free, salt-free, sugar-free, and vegan. In addition to loaves, the flexible home bakery Virtuoso Plus Breadmaker makes dough, sourdough starter, cake, and jam. Along with the pre-programmed courses, the machine comes with a special homemade course, which allows you to input your own knead, rise, and bake times in 3 available memory settings. This Breadmaker also gives you the option to choose a light, medium, or dark crust color, and features an additional heating element in the lid, which promotes even baking and browning. Like all of Zojirushi's 2-pound bread makers, the Home Bakery Virtuoso Plus uses a removable non-stick coated baking pan to hold all ingredients, and dual kneading blades to thoroughly mix ingredients for superior results. Both the pan and blades are easy to clean and are BPA-free. The simplified LCD control panel and convenient key code make it easy to choose the course setting and set the optional 13-hour delay timer. Accessories include a full-color recipe book with 50 delicious recipes, a liquid measuring cup, nested measuring cups for dry ingredients, and a measuring spoon.
From whole grain to French to gluten-free, this bread maker makes it easy for you to create delicious homemade bread without preservatives or trans fats. Operating it is simple. Just add the ingredients, select your baking cycle, and press start. There are 12 cycles, including dough to make rolls or pizza, cake, jam, and a variety of breads. You can choose from 3 crust settings, light, medium, or dark, and the large digital display makes it easy to view and select the cycle, crust, and load size. You can choose between 2 loaf sizes, 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds. There is also a delay timer. Just add the ingredients and begin the baking process later. This way you have hot, fresh bread waiting for you when you wake up in the morning. Perfect for entertaining, too. The non-stick bread pan and 2 kneading paddles are dishwasher safe, and the bread maker comes with recipes to make homemade bread easier than you ever thought possible. The Hamilton Beach 2-pound bread maker. Now that's good thinking.
Everybody loves homemade bread, but we don't have time to make it. So why not let Cuisinart do it for you? The Cuisinart automatic bread maker has a compact footprint without sacrificing functionality. It offers a variety of loaf sizes as well as 3 crust options to choose. Try light, medium, or dark crust and select your loaf size as 1, 1.5, or 2 pounds. With 12 pre-programmed menu options, you're sure to find the perfect freshly baked bread recipes you've been wanting to try. And for a quick and easy recipe option, flip through the included recipe guide to find everything from gluten-free and artisan bread creations to jams and sauce recipes. The automatic bread maker is specifically designed for maximum efficiency with minimal usage of your countertop. The viewing window and interior light make it easy to watch your bread spring to life without escaping valuable baking heat by lifting the lid. The removable kneading paddle and bread pan make cleanup a snap. The bread maker features an easy-to-read LED display, delivers functions including bake only, and has a 13-hour delay start so your bread is perfectly timed to serve. Wake up or come home to oven-hot, bakery-fresh artisan breads right in your own kitchen with the Cuisinart Compact Automatic Bread Maker.
The Home Bakery Maestro Bread Maker is Zojirushi's newest innovation, packed with health-conscious features every home baker will love. This bread maker is compact, leaving a small footprint on any kitchen counter, and comes in a modern white finish. It's designed to make a 1-pound loaf, perfect for smaller families. The Maestro features a wide selection of 15 course settings, which alter the kneading, rising, and baking functions based on the type of bread to be made. The 10 bread settings include traditional courses like white and whole wheat, as well as new healthy settings for multigrain, gluten-free, salt-free, sugar-free, and vegan breads. Along with the bread course settings, The Maestro comes with special courses for bread and pizza dough, pasta dough, cake, and jam, and a superb homemade setting that allows you to store up to 3 custom programs, which control the knead, rise, and bake times. The Maestro helps you make your own creations, just like you would by hand. A new feature distinctive to the Home Bakery Maestro is the Auto Add Dispenser, which automatically adds ingredients such as dried fruit, nuts, and seeds during the knead cycle. No need to wait for an alert tone to add extra ingredients to the dough manually. The Home Bakery Maestro uses a removable, non-stick coated baking pan which holds the ingredients. The single kneading blade, which is secured into the baking pan on a rotating shaft, thoroughly mixes the ingredients for a superior dough. This pan, along with all surfaces that come into contact with food, are BPA-free. The easy-to-read LCD control panel and convenient key code make it simple to choose the course setting, as well as select the crust color, and set the optional 13-hour delay timer. It also has double heaters built into the bottom of the Breadmaker. This type of heating system rapidly heats the interior of the baking pan to facilitate oven spring, for bread with a light and airy crumb and a soft, thin crust. In true Zojirushi tradition, cleaning is a breeze as the baking pan, kneading blade, and auto add dispenser pieces are all removable and hand washable. The sturdy handle makes it easy to move and store. Accessories include a full-color recipe booklet with 50 delicious recipes, liquid measuring cup, and a measuring spoon. We know you'll love the Zojirushi Home Bakery Maestro Breadmaker as much as we do.